As somebody that creates content for myself, for athletes, for musicians, and people all over the world, I found myself buying a lot of gear and technology. When you buy a camera, unfortunately, you need more than just a lens and the body to make it work. And over the years, I've been buying a bunch of stuff. Some of the stuff I don't even use anymore. Some things I still use very often. But these are some of the best gear I've bought that I'm still going to be using in 2026. In order to use your camera, it needs power, right? You need battery. And what I found with my FX3 in particular is that the batteries don't last as long as I would like them to. So that's where this comes in very useful. This is the SmallRig V Mount batteries that charge a lot faster than you may think, but will last the entire day. I've had the camera set up for a DJ set. I've been recording for like 6 hours non-stop, and the camera has not died. Not only is it able to power the camera, but it actually powers my entire rig, and that makes life so much easier not having to carry multiple batteries or switch between batteries. If you haven't watched it already, make sure to check out my dedicated video where I go through my FX3 rig build and talk about how I use that V Mount battery to power up the entire set. So if I've got in the monitor, a light, maybe even the microphone, everything is powered from one battery that's going to last all day. And it doesn't take a long time to charge either. Another accessory that's actually fairly cheap is these quick release plates. These allow me to mount my cameras and quickly release them in seconds. And as somebody who has a bunch of different setups, whether it's on a tripod, it will make life so much easier being able to quickly mount them from one place to another. Camera accessory I'm wanting for a while, or I wouldn't really call it an accessory, but a key part of the camera that I've wanted is a brand new lens, and I finally got it. This is the 16-35 G Master 1. It's the old one. Listen, G Masters are already expensive. Even the new ones are looking about £1,600 upwards, and I'll be honest with you, there's no budget for that. So when it finally became available for the cheap price of £800, for me, it was a no-brainer to pick up a G Master. Yes, it's the G Master 1, so an older version, but the differences aren't tremendous, and it still works great because there's nothing wrong with buying old gear. I can do a whole entire video about that, but I think it's important that you buy equipment that not only suits you and is in your budget. My budget, there's no budget for £2,000 camera lens, but there was a budget for an £800 lens, and a G Master for that price, for me, it's a win-win. So happy I'm finally picked up this lens, especially as somebody who's coming from a 16mm APS-C lens, as I've had that lens for maybe 5 years. When I got my A6400, that was the first lens I picked up, and I cannot recommend it enough. It's a fantastic lens, especially for APS-C shooters. It's going to work great on your Sony, on your full frame cameras as well, so don't feel like you can't use it. The issue I had with the APS-C lens was that there was vignetting, and it was a fixed lens, nothing wrong with that. Sometimes fixed lenses give you better quality, but the vignetting, I just wasn't quite a fan of it. I felt like I was limiting my camera, especially because I've been doing a lot of DJ sets recently. They need the wider field of view. My only real issue is that it's big, right? And as somebody who travels a lot, gets a lot of travel content, I like my camera to be as compact as possible. So that's why I'm going to keep the APS-C lens, is that it gives me a few different options. So I can use a 16 for super wide. If I want to go 20 or 24, or even in between that, I can still get a good shot that's wide enough. It captures everything I need. Although my Tamron sensor covers that from 28 upwards, I'm not mad at it though, because every now and again I do like to have a 2-angle setup. So having one maybe be at like 20 or 16 and this one being at 28, it's honestly very, very handy when I have that versatility. Especially as a content creator, I shoot a lot of stuff for social media, whether it's for YouTube or Instagram. Now when I'm shooting horizontally, I can frame for social media and YouTube in the same time. Just make sure I fit within the center frame. But I traded in my iPhone 14 for the iPhone 17, and I do not regret that in the slightest. This, I know they always say it, but it is a bit of truth. It is the best iPhone available, but the main reason why I actually upgraded to the new iPhone was for USB-C and a better camera. Not to say the iPhone 14 camera was bad, but it's now 3 years old, so it's a bit outdated, and I can say I do see the differences, specifically for video. I create and shoot a lot of content. It felt like an obvious choice to finally get the iPhone 17 Pro Max, so I have no regrets buying this camera at all, and I'm happy to take with me to 2026 as a great camera, but also a great phone, because the camera is very, very impressive. That log color profile, it has honestly surprised me, because I've done a video about that one as well, comparing the two. Make sure you check it out, and you'll be surprised how close it is to my £5,000 FX3 camera setup. I'm not saying that it's on the same level, but it's not far off, and that for me is quite impressive, because this is a phone that fits in my pocket. So when I'm out and about traveling, it's great to have my phone to use as my video device. So the camera and the lens can be quite bulky, like even just comparing the two, right? This is just the lens, forget the camera, just the lens alone. Not only that, but if I'm shooting my own content, it's great as a B-roll camera or as a second camera, because half the time you might not even notice the differences between this and my camera, especially being able to shoot in log. One thing I really do appreciate about the new iPhones is the fact that the wide lens is 48 megapixels. So I can go from wide, close and ultra close, and it's going to look really, really good. And what surprised me the most is just how good that 8x zoom is, because these are some photos that I've taken, and as you can see as we zoom in, the quality is really, really impressive. So the main reason why I'm taking this iPhone with me to 2026, and I'm happy as one of my favorite purchases in 2025, ooh, running out of breath there, is because of how impressive and how good the camera is. Also, I found the battery lasted quite a long time. But beyond that, this really has been my favorite iPhone, and the camera has really, really impressed me. If you have this paired with a good microphone and a light, it really is all you actually need. I promise you, you can go so far with just your iPhone. So obviously, as somebody who records a lot of videos and takes a lot of photos, these have to be edited. And editing, I have a love-hate relationship with it. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it, because it can be really, really tedious. Or if I'm not really enjoying it, it just takes forever. But that's a story for another day. But what I found is that with the Neo TourBox, it makes that process just that little bit easier. I'm able to assign different actions to different buttons. So if I'm going through my timeline, rather than dragging my mouse, I can just dial the wheel here. I think it's like 100 different plus combinations of buttons that you can assign to make the process a lot quicker. So in reality, I can edit a whole entire video just with this. I mainly use the Neo TourBox applications like Lightroom, Photoshop or DaVinci, but it's not limited to just those applications. With this software you can download, you can create any keybinds for any application. This gives me way more functions and control when it comes to editing a video, which in turn makes life so much easier. So those are just a few items I'll be taking with me in 2026. I have a bunch of other things, but those are the ones that come to mind that I found the most useful that I bought in 2025, and has really changed my whole entire editing workflow, my process from getting an idea to a video.